This is Arvind, Department of EEE, DBS ID Kavali. So in the previous session we discussed about transfer reactance, power angle curve and condition for different types of power transfer. So in this class I will teach you about dynamics of rotor. Mainly I will focus on swing equation, but before going to derive swing equation we have to know that some dynamics of rotors. So for that one I will give you some clarity on dynamics of rotor. Actually this dynamics of rotor concept came in a physics subject. It is very familiar in physics. So that means the dynamics of rotor actually this dynamics of rotor consists of velocity, acceleration, force, torque and angular momentum, inertia and inertia constant like this. So firstly I will cover velocity. So velocity is defined as the rate of change of displacement, that is S. So that is V is equal to ds by dt. So for example we are taking a circular motion, that is this one circular motion. So here in this one we are taking angle theta and displacement S with a radial distance r. So from this one for a circular motion S is equal to r into theta. So substitute this S is equal to r into theta into this equation, that is V is equal to d by dt of r into theta. So that means r into d theta by dt. So it will give V is equal to r into omega. So in this one we are taking omega is equal to d theta by dt and substitute in this equation we are having velocity V is equal to r omega. So next coming to acceleration. So it will give acceleration. So acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity. The rate of change of velocity. This is the second one. Acceleration. So acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity. That means A is equal to dv by dt. So that means d by dt of, we are already derived in velocity. So that is V is equal to r into omega. So from this one we are writing r into d omega by dt. So here d omega by dt is the angular acceleration. Here d omega by dt is equal to angular acceleration. So it is indicated by the letter alpha. So from this one we are having r into alpha. So actually therefore the relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration is given by A is equal to r into alpha. So in a linear motion the applied force on a particle with a mass m is that gives F is equal to m into A. So here F is equal to m into A means r alpha. That means it gives force F is equal to m into r alpha. And next coming to torque equation. So torque is defined as the force applied on an object with a radial distance r is given by tau is equal to F into r. So from this one we are having F is equal to m into r alpha. Substitute in this one m into r alpha into r. So that is equal to m r square alpha. So from this one we are taking in the place of m r square we are substituting I. So this tau is equal to I alpha. So here I is the angular. Here I is the inertia. In kg meter square. So this is acceleration, force applied on a particle with a mass m, and this is for torque equation. That is tau is equal to F into r. From this one we are having I alpha. And next coming to kinetic energy. So actually the kinetic energy is required to rotate the rotor from its initial speed to synchronous speed for a given force by applying some force or torque place of displacement. So for that one we are taking one equation, that is differentiation of, actually we already know that kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. This is for linear motion, and here in this one we are writing for rotational force, that is half into I into omega square. So this is for rotation. So linear means we are taking half mv square, but in this one we are taking rotation means that is equal to half into I omega square. So here we are taking this equation, that is differentiation of half into I into omega square, that is equal to tau into d theta m. This is the condition. So here we are differentiating omega m with respect to omega, that is half into 2 omega m into d omega, that is equal to tau into d theta m. So from this one we are writing I into omega m into d omega, that is equal to tau into d theta m. So from this one we are writing, so we already know that omega is equal to d theta by dt. So I am substituting this equation into this one. So that is I into d theta m by dt into d omega, that is equal to tau into d theta m. So from this one I am writing I into d omega m by dt, that is equal to tau. So here we are know that d omega by dt, that is equal to alpha. So from the angular acceleration, alpha is equal to d omega by dt. Here I am substituting this equation into this one, that is I into alpha, that is equal to tau. So this is tau is equal to I alpha. So take this equation as first equation and take this equation as second equation. So from these two equations we have to give units for torque and inertia. So for that one I am taking that from the first equation, that is first equation half into I omega m square into d, that is equal to tau into d theta m. So for this one I am taking, so for kinetic energy the units is joules, so that is equal to tau into, for d theta m we are taking radians. So from this one tau is equal to joules by radians. So this is for torque. And coming to from second equation, that is tau is equal to I alpha. So from this one we are writing I is equal to tau by alpha. So here we are giving units for inertia. So that is what this is from equation 2 and this is from equation 1. So here we are writing I is equal to tau by alpha. So for that one I is equal to tau means joules per radians divided by alpha means we are taking radians per second square. So for this one we are writing joule second square by radians square. So this is for units of inertia. And coming to angular momentum, angular momentum, so that is m, that is equal to I into omega m. So from this one we are already having units of inertia, that is I into joules second square divided by radians square into radians per second, that is this one. So from this one we are having joules per second divided by radians. So this is the units for angular momentum. These are the units for angular momentum. So after giving units to the torque and inertia and angular momentum, we are going to discuss inertia constant, that is h. Inertia constant, that one is h. So for that one we are taking that inertia constant h. So the kinetic energy and momentum, those are carries from machine to machine and depends on the type of the primer we are using and the rating of the machine. Actually for synchronous speed the kinetic energy is constant, so which is defined as inertia constant h. So for that one we are taking h is equal to kinetic energy divided by rating of machine. So rating of machine. So from this one, we already discussed kinetic energy is for rotation. We are taking that half I omega square divided by rating of machine is S. So from this one, we are writing half into I omega m into omega m. So here I am writing omega m square into omega m into omega n. So that is divided by S, that is equal to half into I omega means we already know the m from the angular momentum. So half into m into omega m by S, that is equal to m into omega m by 2s. So from this one, H is equal to m into omega m by 2s. So that is equal to m is equal to 2hs by omega m. So for that one we are writing 2hs by we already know that omega m is equal to 2 pi f. So substitute this 2 pi f into this equation, that is equal to we are having 2hs by 2 pi f. So from this one we are writing hs by pi f or hs by 180 f. So this is for angular momentum and inertia constant h. So these are the dynamics of rotor which is required for to derive swing equation. And now I am going to discuss swing equation. This is the very important concept in 5th chapter, that is power system stability. So swing equation. Swing equation. Actually, the equation relates to the relative motion of rotor axis with respect to the stator field in time domain is known as a swing equation. So the swing equation is defined as the relative motion of rotor axis with respect to the stator field in time domain is known as a swing equation. So to derive the swing equation, we are taking the one alternator which is connected to the prime mover. So that will give, here we are taking the diagram, that is we are taking one alternator and this is going to connect prime mover and it will produce mechanical torque and angular displacement, that is angular acceleration, and it will give electrical torque and it is going to connect for P so this is we are taking bus bar. So here I am connecting on I consider an alternator which is connected to the prime mover. So the prime mover supplies mechanical torque to the rotor of the alternator and that too in clockwise direction. And after that the alternator develops one electromagnetic torque which is opposite to that of the mechanical torque. So that will give, actually in stable condition the mechanical torque is equal to the electromagnetic torque, but if any disturbance occurs, that is if any sudden disturbance occurs into the alternator, so there is a deviation between input torque and output torque. That means input torque means mechanical torque, output torque means electromagnetic torque. So there is a deviation between this input torque and this output torque. So this is known as an angular torque. That is tau is equal to tau A is equal to tau m minus tau E. This is the difference, the deviation between input torque and output torque, that is tau A is equal to tau m minus tau E. So from this one, take this as first equation, and next we are taking that for this equation we are taking that multiply omega m on both sides, multiply omega m multiply with omega m on both sides to the first equation, that gives tau A is equal to tau m into omega m minus tau E into omega m. So from this one, From this one, tau a omega m means that is the acceleration power, that is equal to mechanical power minus electrical power. So take this as equation 2 and take this as third equation. So here the acceleration torque tau a is equal to difference between mechanical torque and output torque. So it will give one condition, that is if tau m is greater than tau e, so tau a value is positive. Tau a value is positive, and if tau m is less than tau e, that means tau a value is negative. Here tau m is greater than tau e, that means it will be tau a is positive, and tau m is less than tau e, that is tau a is negative. So here in positive condition, if rotor speed is less than synchronous speed, that means greater than synchronous speed means it will give acceleration to the alternator, and if rotor speed is less than synchronous speed, that will use deceleration for the alternator. So these are the conditions we are taking for this one. And next, if the disturbance occurs, that means if some disturbance occurs, that will give, in that one we are having one rotor axis and one stator axis and one reference axis we are taking. So from that one we are taking that, so during the disturbance, so that means we are taking one stator and one rotor and one reference axis. So stator, rotor and reference axis. So here the angle is theta m, and here we are having theta, and we are having omega m into t. So during the disturbance, the rotor axis is continuously increasing with respect to the reference axis, which is measured from the reference axis, that is. So from this one we are writing the equation theta m is equal to omega m into t plus delta m. Take this equation as fourth equation. So from this axis we are writing theta m is equal to omega m into t plus delta m. So from the first equation, that is accelerating torque, from acceleration torque tau a is equal to I into d omega m by dt. So from the acceleration torque tau a is equal to I into d omega m by dt. So for this one we are right here also we are taking multiplying with omega m on both sides. It will give tau a omega m, that is equal to I into d omega m by dt. So that into d omega m by dt, that into omega m. So tau a omega m is equal to I into d omega m by dt, that into omega m. So from this one we are also know that tau a omega m is equal to accelerating power, that is pa, that is equal to this is rewritten as I omega m into d omega m by dt. So for this one we are writing pa is equal to, in I omega m we are substituting m dash. So actually here m dash is the angular momentum in mechanical degrees. So that means we are writing m dash. So actually we are taking in this one as electrical degrees, but we are taking in this one is mechanical degrees. That means we are substituting m dash. So that into d omega m by dt. So next pa is equal to m dash into, so actually we know that omega m is equal to d theta m by dt. So that is equal to m dash into d square theta m by dt square. So treat this equation as fifth equation. And next, by using the fourth equation we are differentiating this into two times. That means the from equation 4, that is theta m is equal to omega m into t plus delta m. So that means here we are differentiating on both sides, that gives with respect to t, that is d theta m by dt, that is equal to omega m plus d delta m by dt. So here we are again differentiating this equation with respect to d, that gives d square theta m by dt square, that is equal to, here the omega m is constant, that means 0, plus d square delta m by dt square. So from this one we are writing, so d square theta m by dt square, that is equal to d square delta m by dt square. So here I am substituting this equation. So treat this as a sixth equation. Substitute this sixth equation into fifth equation. It will give PA is equal to m dash into d square delta m by dt square. Okay, next. So here we are taking that m dash is equal to I omega m. So from this one I am writing I into omega into 2 by p. So actually in this one delta is equal to p by 2 delta m, and delta m is equal to 2 by p delta. So from this one we are writing I omega into 2 by p. So that is, we all know I omega is equal to m. So substitute m into this one. So m into 2 by p. This is treated as seventh equation, and substitute this m dash into this fifth equation. So it will give so actually we are having pi is equal to m dash into d square delta m by dt square. So that is equal to, in m dash plus we are substituting this one, that is m into 2 by p into d square delta m by dt square. So from this m into 2 by p, so we are writing p by 2 into d square delta by dt square. So that is equal to, we are writing m into d square delta by dt square. So this is the swing equation. So this is the swing equation for the given alternative, that is pi is equal to m into d square delta by dt square. Here we are writing p by 2 into d square, means already know that delta is p by delta m, and delta m is equal to p. Here we are substituting this one into this one, and we are having pi is equal to m into d square delta by dt square. So this is the swing equation, very important concept in the last chapter. Okay, thank you.